Cindy.
Hi, Will.
Thank you for asking me to help you with your lighting situation. So you decided you're going to make the big move and you're going to go into making portraits. Tell me about the space. You said inside your church, or is it inside the building next to your church that you're going to work with?
Well, we haven't looked at the space all that much yet, but we're hoping to get at least a 10 by 20 area or a 12 by 20 area is what we're shooting for.
Mm-hmm.
Small studio.
Okay, and you want to do portraits, right? Family portraits as well as individuals and couples portraits?
Yes, and we've even got a couple weddings booked for next year. So just family type stuff. We're starting small, and we have it just about all put together with backdrops and props and everything. Lighting is the last big ticket that I'm afraid to jump into.
Your camera is a Canon T4?
It's XTI. It's Rebel.
XTI Rebel. Terrific.
Yeah.
And you want to use wireless TTL to help out with exposure stuff, right?
Yes.
Right on. So when we get into wireless, we can go with the Canon system, of course, with their either Canon transmitter or the Canon 580 on there. And, you know, the wireless triggering of that's not so terrific. Well, Qflash, definitely the way to go. Are you going to blend the Canon Qflash with Qflash, or do you just want to jump into Qflash the whole way?
Probably just going to jump into Qflash the whole way. I think it's a system that'll last us for a long time, and that's what I'm really interested in.
Yeah. We
want to be able to expand as we go along here, and so I think we're just going to jump in with what we can get first.
Good. I agree. And one of the cool things about Qflash is if you always need to get out of it, you've always got used marketplace for it, because everybody, needs one more piece of Quantum, whatever it is. So the system is a light and a battery, and for wireless, it's the transmitter. And we can get complicated if we want to, but we don't really need to. So let's take a look at the easy way, and then the way maybe it's a little not so easier, but boy, is it nice, right? And this is your basic trio. Oh, sorry, not Trio Basic. This is your Trio that has the wireless radio system built into it. And there's a Trio Basic that doesn't have the radio built into it, and it looks just the same. You're going to need the one with the radio in it. So you're going to need the bigger Quantum T5DR Qflash and the power system for it, and then we're going to connect those together. So the big Quantum Qflash T5 doesn't have a radio built into it, but it does have a little radio that snaps on the side.
Okay.
So say portrait-wise, you're going to do just, how about a couple portrait? What are you going to plan to use for your main light?
Well, we have a Canon off camera. It's actually on camera light right now for the main light, and that's what that's why I'm talking to you, because I really don't know what to use for the main light. You know, maybe off to the left of the camera a little bit. Yeah. Yep. And
so you don't want just on-camera flash. You're ready to get it off onto a light stand and use an umbrella or a softbox.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're saying all the right things for me. I'm so glad to finally see you getting this far, right? Isn't it fun? It's been a long way, right?
Okay. It's been a long ride.
It's been a long ride, yeah. All right, here's one way to do it. One way to do it is on your camera, put a wireless transmitter that speaks the Quantum free X-Wire language. You'll buy this for Nikon or for Canon and slide right in and it'll send wireless TTL, not a problem.
Okay.
So main light probably makes a lot of sense to go with the full-size Qflash T5, the FW7Q receiver that's onto it. You can put it onto a light stand, you can put it in a softbox, you can put it by itself, you can do bare bulb like Rick Farrell does, and you'll be able to power that with any one of the battery systems that you want. So, batteries. If you're not going to carry this around with you, the big Turbo 3 is a great way to go because it clips onto a light stand and you don't have to worry about the heft of it, because it's, you know, for a big guy like me, it's no big deal, but you're a little girl and, you know, you're not going to really want to have this, you know, stuck in your shirt pocket or anything. So are you ever going to do on-camera flash where you're going to need to have a battery like clipped to your belt or in your suit coat pocket?
I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, I'm just really not to that yet as far as all the different setups that we're going to have out there yet. You know, the main thing is that we're going to have to be a little bit portable, but I'm assuming that at weddings that you're going to have to, at some point in time,
Yeah.
you're going to have a flash
Yep.
on camera that's going to do it.
Yeah. Well, the on-camera flash, of course, is the Trio, and you've seen in some of the videos where even when I'm going to do portrait work on location, I'll put a Trio on top of the camera. That'll be my fill light. I'll adjust the control panel so that I have the ability to drop this fill light a stop and 2/3 less than my main light. Then I put my main light off to the side on a light stand, and that's going to be brighter, obviously, than my fill light. And it'll work in wireless TTL, and you'll just shoot all day long, and you get great exposures, and there's really not a whole lot to it. The only downside of doing that is, of course, now on your camera, you're going to have another flash, which you can use all by itself later if you want to. And you'll go with the Trio, which has the radio system in it. It's not very difficult at all, and you can switch it on the go to do multiple things. It's really pretty easy.
Okay.
That'll spare you from having to buy this wireless system because you'll already have it built into the Trio.
Oh, okay.
So not the least expensive way to go, and you will need 2 batteries. So the dream system for what you're going to do is a hefty light stand for your main light. And on that light stand, you'll put a Quantum T5 with its own Turbo 3 battery.
Okay.
Then on your camera, you'll have a Trio that you'll use for your fill light, or you don't have to fire this. It'll just use the radio inside it, and it'll trigger your, Qflash, so you won't have to buy this extra piece.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will need a second battery for the Trio, of course, so that it'll power its own, but you'll be able to get a couple thousand, TTL portrait shots, no problem out of that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Here's another thought. If you're to shoot bigger groups, main light wise, you can take the big Qflash and you can turn it around and bounce it off the wall. Do you know what colors the walls are in the studio you're going to use?
Well, we're hoping for white or an off-white.
Will they let you? Will they let you paint them?
Yeah, we can paint them.
Okay. Well, go with a neutrally color white so that you can use that as a wall to bounce off of. And Qflashes really are strong enough that instead of pointing them forward through an umbrella, for instance, when you're going to do your single portraits or your couples portraits, pull the umbrella off, turn it backwards, bounce it into the wall. As long as you're using other Canon compatible TTL flashes, you'll be able to add those in as you go.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so that would give me a wider shot if I have the room for a group.
Yeah. Here's how I've normally done it. When I've got to go on a location gig and I've got to shoot individuals, couples, trios, and then get into the bigger group, I'll use TTL for the 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots. But when it comes down to the group shots, I'll typically flip over to manual. That allows me to add other flashes in there too. So you'll have the ability to not use TTL if you want to. And that way, if you want to use, say, a white light slave for a background light or a hair light of somebody else's, borrow a Elechrome or a Profoto or something, those will work with your portrait system, just not in TTL.
Okay, I see. Okay.
That's the hardest part. The other issue is, the issue is that you'll have to manage those batteries because once your battery poops out on the job, you have to charge it back up with a little AC plug-em-in charger. Yeah. So when it comes to batteries, you got a couple of choices. You've got the larger Quantum Turbo, and then you've got the Turbo 3, which has got the 2 ports on it. And there's the one that goes under the camera, if you'd rather have that. That's called the Blade, the Turbo Blade.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So here's where the difference between what I do and what I would recommend to you are probably 2 different things. Personally, I don't like the Turbo Blade much because it mounts on the bottom of my camera, and if I've got to handhold that, it just feels that the weight's a little too far down, and it just is a little too much for me. I don't like where the weight's placed. So for me, I would much rather have the battery on my belt and then run a cable up my arm. In fact, sometimes even underneath my suit coat, so it can get to the camera or get to my light if the camera's on there, right? It works really well for me.
Oh,
if you're going to use a Trio on the camera and on a tripod for your studio stuff, then you could get the battery that goes underneath the camera, or you could get the one that clips onto the tripod leg.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So, pricing. Holy guacamole. You're going to have to rob a couple gas stations to get this one all through. Well, it does pay to buy to buy brand new Qflash gear, because you know how tough you've been on it, right? If there's other people in the family that have Qflash gear for sale, it's used, and I've got some used stuff that I can share with you too. But if you don't know where it came from, some of that stuff can really just be beat up.
Okay.
So best to get new. So we're looking at the batteries, depending on which one you go with, between $400 and $600 inside there. And by the time we get a T5 and the radios and a Trio, it's not hard to get around $3,000 here. So.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's kind of how I look at it. You're going to need portable equipment, and you're going to need studio equipment. If you were to buy both, if you were to buy speed lights for Canon for your weddings and location stuff, you're already going to spend $1,000 on a pair of flashes there. Then you're going to need batteries, so you'll probably end up going with the Quantum battery to feed your Canon lights anyway, your speed lights. Yeah. And then if you just buy cheapy Alien Bs or whatever you want for your studio, you're another $1,500. So I'm glad you're entertaining the idea of buying one set of lights that covers location, studio, and event work, and you got the premium, the best of all lights, at the same price.
Yeah. And they should last a long time. I've read a lot of reviews on them. Yeah. And they've won the review market hands down. Everybody said that it was the best choice they ever made was to step up to them. Yeah. So.
We get that a lot, right, with the Shoot Smarter folks when we turn them on to Qflash and they try it and they go, why didn't I know about this sooner, right? Although I can't tell you, over the years of me telling photographers, because they complain about their speed lights, and I tell them, Qflash, they go, oh my gosh, they're so big and they're so heavy. And I go, well, hang on, big? Yeah, heavy? They're not, because the battery's not in the flash. These are actually nice and lightweight. Yeah. The battery's down a little lower. But they do say it's expensive. That, absolutely, right? There you got it. Okay, well, you decide what you want to do, and then get a hold of one of our retailer friends, and we'll see what kind of deal they can do on you. I will see what we've got for used equipment that we can spare that will fit into this wireless TTL as well as portable stuff. Okay? All right, let me know how you get out. I will send you a little list of the products that I mentioned in this little discussion, and go get them.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you soon.